وأنزل الشكر مكان الكفر واصل جميع المسلمين عاجلا ثم قيم خوفا وحزنا آجلا ونجهم وعافهم والتف بهم ولا تؤاخذهم بكثر ذنبهم فإنهم وإن عصوك يا أحد لغفلة لم يشركوا بك أحد وإنهم أبدانهم لا تقدروا على ملائكة بضعف يظهرون قلوبهم ليست تميل أبدا إلى سواك من هنا إلى غدا لكنما تلصص الجوارح أبداهم لأقبح الخبائث فلا تواخذهم بما لا ينقصون ولهم حب الذي لا ينفعون يا الله يا مخلب القلوب خلي قلوبنا عن الغيوب وأغرنا بحب كل مسلم ونجنا من شر كل مجرم واجعل جميع المسلمين ترا لنا أقلاء فنكفى درا واجعل جميع المؤمنين في الهدى والمؤمنات ثم آتهم غدا واجعل جميع المسلمين في ارتقاء والمسلمات من بياتهم تقى واجعل جميع العلماء عاملين واجعل جميع العاملين مخلصين واجعل جميع المخلصين زاهدين واجعل جميع الزاهدين ناصحين واجعل جميع الناصحين صادقين واجعل جميع الصادقين فائزين وارنا يا ربنا بالخدمة للمسلمين أبدا ورحمة واجعلهم فينا هدى وخيرا وكفهم منا أذى وضيرا وأغرنا بحبهم لوجهك وأغرهم بحبنا فنسلك واجعل جميع إخوتي ونسبي في رحمة يوم اشتداد النسب واجعل لنا هنا وهنا حتى ذا قلة تفضلا فنهزا وهب لنا مكارم الأخلاق مع تهاب بلا شقاق واجعل صغيرنا يوقر الكبير واجعل كبيرنا يعين للصغير واجعل قلوبنا على التوادد بلا تنازع ولا تحاسد ولا تقاسم ولا تدابر ولا تباغض ولا تنافر حتى نسير المسلمين قاسين والمؤمنين مخلصين صالحين واغفر لنا وعافنا بعافية تكون بالدارين خير عافية واحمي وخذ وكفنا عن مسلما ونجي كل مسلم ومسلما وأولنا يا ربنا حسن الختام شفى الأمراض ووهب المرغوب والأغراض محمد طبيبنا الهمام المبرئ الأمراض والأسقام وسليا عليه ثم سلما وآله مع الثياب الكرماء ما أفلح المسؤول بالدعاء ووفي المريض باستفاء يا من يروم دفع كل داء فلا تفارق مطلب الشفاء ودم عليه في المساء والصباح وأهل سلطنا شفاء وفلاح بإذن ربنا وجاه المصطفى صلى عليه ربنا كما اصطفى بإذن ربنا وجاه المصطفى صلى عليه ربنا كما اصطفى لم يدن مثل المصطفى محمد سرا وجاها في برايا الصمد لم يبدو مثل المصطفى محمد سرا وجاها في برايا الصمد مد لنا الإسلام والكفر معا وبالنصيحة لكل سمحا يقود بالظاهر والباطن من هداه لله في كل زمن خدمته للعيوب أسباب والاستقامة وصفا وهبات لبان كون المصطفى رئيسا لكل من قد فضلوا رؤوسا قل قدماه فوق كل رقبة من استعان الغر كل من غبا محمد مثال لم يأتي فيما مضى وأبدا لا يأتي ثبت أن
يوم الخفايد يا ذا الكتائب لخير تائب لخير تائب منك شفائب لك خروفي منك ظروفي مع الوروف يا ذا الهائب لك خروفي منك ظروفي مع الوروف يا ذا الهائب ادي Cheikh Ibra
jërëjëf sëñ Ablaye kon mbooloo mi ñu teewlu bu baax a baax Seydina Jibril ndax ku ne xam na ni waxtu wi xat na lool waaye nag ñu fexe ba waxtu wu dem rek am lu mu yóbbaale ci lu baax kon ñi ngi sàkku ci mbooloo mi yépp ak taalibe ak dal ngir yàlla ak jëmmi Sëriñ Tuubaa ñu jëmmal jataay bi taaral jataay bi te jëm koo dundal kon ñu déglu bu baax a baax a baax a baax ndax wax dëgg yàlla yelloo na ak déglu ñoo ngi koy tuubaat nag bu baax a baax a baax Seydina Jibril
Bismillah. Brother Jibril, Mr. Kadim was just welcoming you to be today our lecturer for the day. Inshallah, everyone is ready to learn, but first to listen, then learn and take advantage of it. So this audience mainly is composed, as you know, by youngsters. But I consider myself to be among them. Alhamdulillah, you too then. So inshallah, we're really proud to see you again in good health. You must bring blessing from Jamaica, and Sheikh Abdul Hakim has informed the board, like the board of the DAHIRA, that inshallah you will one day come and deliver a message that I know that it will come from your heart with some purity, passions, and devotion. Alhamdulillah, we can count among the brothers here non-Wolof speakers. The brother Cheikh has been just telling us off that why we don't speak English during our session, but we will do our best. We're getting there. But I believe you're still learning. Yeah. You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
So if I say assalamu alaikum, Nagadef, you lost it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. I am, as you say, I'm privileged to be here again to share knowledge, share understanding, share a bit of life's wisdom that I've gone through along my travels. I thank the esteemed board for allowing me to be here to share this knowledge. The subject that I'm about to go into, it's a broad, it's a deep, it's complex. And as I was saying just a while ago, to be able to relay as much as possible, I'll have to make it as simple as possible. And regarding the subject, I hope that as time go on, there can be part 2, part 3, part 4, being how complex it is and how varied it is. Okay, now the subject is about religion and the comparative, the difference in religion. First of all, we have to understand the word religion. Where did it come from? How did it come to be? Now, religion is a Western concept. It's not Eastern, it's Western concept. And the word came about in the 17th century, 16th century, when Christianity was populating the world. Now, the East didn't know about religion, the word religion. So therefore, you know, we're looking at it from a different point of view of a different point of view and a different concept. So the word religion, as it has been known over the last few hundred years, originated from Old French and Old Anglo-Norman. Anglo-Norman is the Isle of Angle, which is England. That's the old name for England. Norman was the ruling class in France at the time of 1600s, the time of the knights and so forth. When they invaded England, they came over and they established their societal structure. Okay? So that at that point of time, religion meant respect or sense of right, moral obligation, sanctity, and so forth. But in the Occidental, what do I mean by Occidental? I mean that the ancient times, the word was not religion. The word was more faith And it dealt with, even before the French, the Italians had a word called relegere. Means to again, legere means to bind. So the word is to bind again. What are we binding? What are we binding again? We are binding together the spirit and the animal aspect of man. Because when Adam left the garden, there was oneness in it. There was a time when he could have talked to God, to Allah, face to face, and there was no distinction between the two. When he sinned, that distinction escalated, and now he was kicked out, and he had to now come to the world of ego instead of non-ego. And then he has to work his way back. So from the time that he was kicked out until the time of judgment, we as children of Adam is always finding our way back to the beginning. So we are now, religion is a concept of bringing you back to the original source, binding you back, bringing the lower and the upper self. It's a bit deep, and I know, and I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So religion consisted of connecting the upper self to the lower self. What is the upper self? That's your spiritual identity, your identity with Allah. And your lower self is your identity with your ego, that which denies or refuses to accept the higher self.
Sorry, Cheikh, just do this to me. I think it's more comfortable for you.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we say, we are binding the higher self to the lower self, the lost soul to God. Okay? So that is the Eastern concept of religion as it is known. Okay? So how do we bind? How are you going to bind your soul or yourself to your higher self? So, in the ancient times, they had stories in which they tried to give the people a sense of being, of what they needed to do to get there. So, stories of compassion, stories of heroism, those kinds of myths that we all look at. Even in the modern time, we look at the actions of the Cheikh and what he went through that gave us inspiration to try and emulate the Cheikh. The things that the Prophet ﷺ did that we can look at to try and emulate, to come closer to Allah. Then we have the rituals that we need to go through that were established that also gave us that connection. So you might say, what kind of rituals? So, contemplation on, it's kind of scream out, isn't it? Okay. So, contemplation, reflection, prayer, these are all rituals. You go through a process of doing something that's going to bring you closer to that source. The discipline, as we're doing now, we're fasting, the month of Ramadan. That is also a discipline, a ritual that brings you closer to Allah, that allows you to open the door to come closer. That's part of the ancient submission, faith. In the beginning, the first religion was the religion of submission. Yes, before we even entered into Adam, we were asked, am I not your Lord? And we answered, yes. Every soul that ever existed and will ever exist had to answer that question. We were asked, am I not your Lord? Yes. Then we became children of Adam. So that submissive aspect was established from the beginning. Okay? Then we came to faith. And that was emulated with Ibrahim. He was the father of faith. Through him, faith was established between mankind and God. He was a friend of Allah. Okay? Then we had knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. By understanding those aspects, we also bind ourselves. We come back to the source. So that's how we bind ourselves. That's part of the process, the ancient way of the process that brought us back. So we have, skipping centuries, we have now, throughout history, there were, if I believe, 120,000 different types of religion. Not yet. Not yet. I'm coming to that. There was 120,000 different types of religion. Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Zoroaster, different. If you go into the history, you'll find thousands of different ways that people were trying to bind. We go back to the Tower of Babel. At one time, there was only one language. Then, through that and the Tower of Babel, many languages, many ways of describing how to get back. And due to culture, topographics, where you were, people started to then innovate ways and means of getting back to God. And they started to then misinterpret the sacred texts as to how to get back. They started to misinterpret the aspects of Allah. We have Allah is merciful. They made a God, a merciful God, a tyrant God, a vengeful God, a God of production, a God of agriculture. So they misinterpreted the original concept of God and then deviated and formed all these types of religion. That's in the ancient times. Okay? So religion then became vast, varied. But I said to one person one time, I said, if you understand and if you look beyond the concepts that are available, think of it as you have different bottles of various colors, orange, blue, and you put clear water in each of those bottles. If you say to somebody, what color is in the bottle, they would probably name, I'll give you the color of the bottle itself. But the wise man would empty the bottle to find the truth. The clear water is the truth. And within each religion, there is an aspect of truth. Albeit distorted, there's an element of truth. Because in the end, there's only one truth. There's only one God. How, due to culture and topography, you express that creates a quote-unquote religion. And how deep you do that, it can deviate to depths that's even what we find nowadays. Okay? So, skipping to modern times, after the advent of Christianity and we came into the Roman Catholic Church. Oh yes, I forgot. Let's get back to that. Allah sent 124,000 prophets throughout history. And why was that? Why did he send 124,000? Because at the end of the day, and the day of judgment, there is no culture, religion, race, creed, culture that can say, oh, we did not know of the truth. And the last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came to confirm everything that went before. So that at the end of days, there is no dispute as to what is the truth. So no one throughout the history of mankind can say, Allah, I didn't know. We weren't sent a prophet. Every culture throughout history was sent a prophet with the truth. But through deviation of mind and culture, we refused it. And we killed our prophet. Yeah, but it's there. That foundation is there. No one can say. Okay. So, now we move on to the modern aspect of religion. Through the deviations of the Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, Baptist, all, now it has become more of political, financial. Okay? So religion has not become a way of getting man to come to God, but come to another man as an intervention of coming to God. So now you are depending on someone else for your liberation instead of going straight to the source. And that's why Islam is different from all, because you're not depending on someone else. You're not giving the label or the preference to someone else to save your soul. You have to do the work yourself. You have to get down, sujood. You have to pray. You have to ask for forgiveness. You have to give thanks. You have to ask for blessing. It's between you and Allah. Okay? You cannot depend on another man because he's going to have to make account for himself. And the Christian churches and all the other churches now, the denomination, they put their trust in someone else. The blind leading the blind. The fool teaching the fool. Okay? And now if you notice, it's all become financial. It's a business. Religion now is a business when it comes to the Christian side of things. But we're fortunate. We are fortunate. And I always say that to my brothers. I said, you are in a lucky situation. Because at least you are on the straight path. The Quran is your straight path. The more you read it, the more you know, the more you understand, and you find out where you are. How you, in your own self, can get to the next part. How you can talk to Allah. How close is Allah? He's closer to you than your jugular veins. You can't have anyone closer to you. He's closer to you than your jugular vein. All you have to do is ask. He's waiting for you to ask. Every action that you make is a prayer. And I always say it all the time. Make your actions a prayer to Allah. That is the true religion. That is what is required of you. When you say Assalamu alaikum, that is a ritual of peace, which also brings you closer to God. When you do your wudu, every action, you wash away the sins. You understand that, oh yes, if it wasn't because of Allah, I wouldn't be able to do this. You then start to think, yes. When you say a smile to someone, that is a ritual, because you are elevating that person's soul. That is religion. That is your belief. That is what is asked of you from Allah. So religion now becomes an everyday action, an everyday ritual. When you get up in the first thing in the morning, you open your eyes, you say, thank you, Allah, because you've taken my soul overnight and you've returned it back to me. So what? So that I can give you thanks and praise. When I walk through that door and going out to work, when you leave that door and you shut it behind you, you say, Allah, my soul, my body and everything is in your hands, because I don't know what's going to happen. And during the day, you're constantly, as a dhikr, you're constantly reminded of the grace of Allah. That is your religion. When you enter back into your house and you say Salaam Alaikum, as you get into your house, that's your religion. You're bringing the peace into your house. That's your religion. And that's the difference between them and us. Okay? Let everything you do be a prayer to Allah. When I do my salat, I ask forgiveness for my eyes, my ears, my hands, my body, my mind, my soul, my feet, because they're all going to give an account of what I do. Okay? So there's a constant reminder. 5 times a day I'm reminding myself, hey, check yourself. Check what your hands are doing. Check what your eyes are doing. Check what your ears are doing. Check what your mouth is doing. Check what your heart's doing. Check what your soul's doing. How do you think? Check your emotions. Check where you're going. Because Allah is closer to me. He sees everything. He hears everything. He knows everything. And all He asks is, as us, as human, it's just my Dan. It's reminding me. Yeah, Allah is great. Okay? Allah is great. Allah is greater. Allah is greatest. Greatest is Allah. Greater is Allah. Great is Allah. Okay? So, it's a constant reminder. That is Islam as a religion. Everything you do should be a prayer. Every thought you have, if it strays, bring it back. Allah forgive me, I made a mistake. Allah would love that. Allah loves that. He's waiting for you to come and say, hands up, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I ask for your forgiveness. Who is more forgiving? Who is more merciful? Who is the better planner? Come on. What greater religion do you have but that? What greater religion do you have than to know that your protector, your God, is waiting for you. Waiting for you to come and ask. He who gives you rain, food, clothed. I'm watching everyone. Everybody's happy. They're eating and I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, do you know how far this has come? Do you know what blessing came with what you're eating? Did you give thanks for even the crumbs that fell on the floor? Because you didn't provide it. The great provider provided it for you. Who gave you your eyesight? I was very fortunate. I had to have laser surgery, change my lens, because I knew what it would be like to have no eyesight. Okay? Last year when I couldn't move in my bed, I gave thanks now that I can walk a bit, because it could have been the other way around. I got to the point where I said, if this pain continues, I'd rather you take me now than to suffer with the pain. I was willing to go. I said, Allah, come, take me. I can't take the pain. Okay? And he said to me, no, you got work to do. I'll take it. I just wanted to see how you would manage. So I have to now make sure that I keep my end of the bargain. If by chance I miss a salat, I have to go and do twice. The one that I miss and the one for my mistake. And if I'm nice enough, I'll do 3. Yeah? Because I need that extra blessing. Because I'm glad that I've got Islam. I am glad that I've got Islam. That is my religion. And Allah said to the Prophet, peace be upon him, yeah, this day I made Islam your religion. This day I made Islam your religion. And we're in the month of Ramadan. We are in the month of Ramadan. The greatest of books was given, started from this month. The greatest of blessing is in this month. Anything you do in this month with faith gets multiplied 1,000 times. Okay? So we are in a blessed month. Allah said, nah, this month is the blessed month. This month is for me. Your fasting is for Allah. Not for yourself, it's for Allah. Because He made sure, He said, this fasting is for me. I feel sorry for those who don't fast this month. And they're believers. Okay? I don't want to stray too much from religion, but religion is your way of life. Islam is your religion. Islam is your way of life. Live Islam. Don't just participate, live it. Meaning breathing, seeing, hearing, speaking, action, words, everything. Make it your religion. And to make it even nicer, I wish that I can continue subjects on religion, looking at different religions and how it compares to Islam. The language that you're speaking, Arabic, is not an ordinary language. In the beginning, the first language, the Hebrew language, is also a holy language. But the children of the book, they made it bad. Okay? So, Allah had to give you another holy language, which is Arabic. And each and every letter within the Arabic language has a world of wisdom. Each letter, 29 letters? 28 letters. 28 different universes. You contemplate on one and you see how much blessing Allah gives you. How much wisdom is in that.
That's the numerical value of Touba.
Ah, okay. Yes. So language plays a lot in religion. Sound plays a lot in religion. When you sit here and you sing, the angels join you in singing the Hasidas. That's what you don't realize. That's why you have to be of a state of mind to sit around and sing. And I remember that from when Abdullahi was saying, oh, before you come here, you have to put your mind in a state to sit around and sing. You can't just come off the street and sing. Nah, I'm joking. You have to be in a state of mind, a state of purity, so that the malaikis can come and sit with you and give you the energy to sing, to say the praises. This day I made this your religion. Salam alaikum. So, thank you for your ears. I hope I didn't go too deep. I could have gone deeper. Yes, and one day probably I will go deeper. Okay. Salam alaikum, my brothers.
Well, Brother Jibril, maybe Sheikh Omar will help us just to summarize what you've been saying, because they really came to, because most of them, the theme that you're suffering in here when we speak Wolof, the same way they suffer when you speak English. So, Sëñ Cheikh, ñetti dafa mel ni waxtu wi nag faw sëñ bi dafa ne 9h ñu nodd. Est-ce que kon du buñ jullee ba noppi? Ah, sëñ bi nee na mën nañoo topp lii. Kon ñu jox sëñ Cheikh Amar mu tënk rek ci lim fi waxagum lépp. Xam naa du yomb waaye nee naa ko moom ni muy sonnee bu ñuy làq wolof yéen tamit am na ci ñoo xam ne noonu la ñuy sonnee. Yaa Cheikh bismillah.
Asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, bismillah, wa salawatullahi wa salaamuhu ala sayyidil awwalin wal akhirin, sayyidina mawlana qudwatina qurrati a'yunina Muhammadin mujtaba wa ala alihi wa sahbihi waktubna bi shay'in min al-udaba an-nujaba. Xam naa li Seydina Jibril doon wax dafa tàmbali wax ci al-islam mu ne bëri na ay diine yu sosu ci àdduna mu ne mat na wàññi na ci lu toll ci 120,000. Salaamaaleykum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah. mu ne ci njëlbeen at the beginning there was a lot of different religions. mu ne amoon na ay religions yu bëri. mu ne am na ay religions yu bëri ba wàññi na ci lu toll ci 120,000 ci ay religions yu wuute. mu ne ci kaw loolu suñ borom yónnee na lu toll ci 124,000 ci ay yonent mooy téeméeri junni ak ñaar fukk 124,000 124,000 mu ne nag diine yooyu yëpp boo ci laal rek am na lenn dëgg lu ci nekk waaye yonent bi after salaam moom la suñ borom yónni pour mu maanaam confirmer dëgg yooyu waaye xam naa dañ ciy teg ni waaye rectify distortions yi maanaam loolu xëy na man maa ko ci dolli ci wax ci waxiin mais dama def ni loolu la ci jublu mooy que ni diine yooyu yëpp amoon na lenn lu ciy dëgg waaye suñu borom da cay yónnee leen ay ñoo xam da leen koy leeral mais ci kaw jamono ci temps message yu bëri dafa distort mu misaal ni ab ndox boo xam da nga ko dugal ci bouteille bu verte booy xool bouteille bi buñ la laajoon naka la ndox mi mel boo sottiwul ndox mi mu génn doo mën a xam couleuru ndox mi ci boppam waaye bu deful nank juum jaawale ko ak couleuru bouteille bi loolu nag daf ñuy delloo ci benn philosophie boo xamante ne ku ñu wax Emmanuel Kant moo ko doon jàngale mooy philosophie yu criticisme mooy le criticisme conscient muy loo xam ne dañuy wax ni ci philosophie ni dafa doon wax ni bu ñu jëloon ab bant sànni ko ci biir ndox ba ndox mi di yëngu da ngay gis ni sa bët daf lay wan ni ndox mi bant bi mi ngi forme bant bi mi ngi yëngu fekk bant bi yënguwul waaye ndox mi moo yëngu mu ne àdduna dafa mel ni ku sol ay lunettes yu bleu lunettes yi bu bleuwee lépp looy gis dafay mel ni dafa bleu waaye bleu boobu nekkul ci mbir yi waaye mi ngi ci lunette gi nit ki sol loolu mooy foofu la jëlee maanaam loolu mu doon wax ci misaal philosophie daf ko indiwaat ci li ñuy wax criticisme donc bi mu waxee loolu it tudd na ni sound dafa am solo ci mujjeelu waxam sound nag man li ma ci mën a misaal mooy sànq rek maa ngi jox suñu sëriñ su tedd si sëñ Sidi ibn Cheikh Lahad Mbacké xafida radiallahu anhu mu ñaanal ma ci bouteille bi dañuy gis ni scientifiquement parlant bu ñu delloo ci science daf ñuy xamal ni li ñuy jàng fii par exemple wala ndox ci boppam dafa am mémoire dafay denc dafa loo xam day denc ngëneel wala safaan te ndox dafa bokk ci nit lu toll ci 77 wala 73%. 73% wu nit astaghfirullah 77% wu nit mooy ndox la moo xam ci cerveau yi ba ci muscle yi ba ci yax ci boppam dafa am ndox léegi nit bu fekkee ndox moo ko constitué te par exemple ñu ne fii di sikkër wala di jàng xasida déglu buñ ciy déglu rek buñ ko jànguloo nit liñ ciy dégg bu doon alquran la dina façonné ndox mi bu ñu jëloon bu ñu ko defoon ci microscope da ngay gis ni ndox mi dafay am ay shapes mooy melokaan ay forme yu spécifique mun na rafet mel ni ward mel ni fleur wala mu ñaaw mel nuru lu kenn xamul dañu seetlu nag ni alquran boo ko tegoon ci wetu ndox dafay am molécule ndox bu nekk ci biir bouteille bi rek dafay répliquer essence su alquran bi da koy denc waaye bokk na si li ñu mën a dellu ci histoire defe naa mi ngi ci Ibn Kathir Abul Fida Ibn Kathir ci mujjantal bi ñuy wax ci benn xissa bu delluwaat ci Seydina Omar Ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu bi ko am délégation bu ñu yebaloon sàkku ci moom mu ñaanal leen ndax ndox mi dendoon ak ñoom dafa daawuloon walangaan maanaam Nile la defe naa mooy le rivière u fleuve Nil fleuve bu ñuy wax Nil comme daawuloon di wala ngaan maanaam daawuloon di dafa stagné te ndox bu stagné te rek mun na am ay bactéries ak yi maanaam setaay bi dafay des léegi te mu doon kii moo leen doon gën a ëppal mu gënoon a baax ci mbay mi bi ñu demee Seydina Omar daf leen jox ab lettre ne leen bu ñu demee ñu tàbbil ko ci biir ndox mi kooku ñu jox lettre bi mu ñëwee xool kii ne sëñu moom dañ ko sàkkul mu ñaanal ñu kii mu bind lettre bi ne ñu def ko ci ndox mi bi mu demee ba tiim ndox mi ne nakay day xool li Seydina Omar bind ci lettre bi mu gis ni Seydina Omar daf ci bind wax ci ne yow Nil turu fleuve bi ne ko bu fekkee ni da ngay dox ci ndigal suñu borom bu fekkee mbindeef nga ci mbindeefu yàlla te di dox ci ay ndigalam ñu nit ci loolu lañ nekk te dañuy sàkku ci yow nga maanaam nga dal te doxal maanaam mel nu mu war a mel ci biñ ko fa kiwee ci la nga gis ni ndox mi dafay daal di wuyu ndigalu amirul muminin Seydina Omar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu kon suñu nekkan fii bu ñuy sikkarit buñ ko teeloo dina am jeexital ci nit ki ala kulli xaal moo xam nag lu nit ki mën a déglu bu dee safaan bi la it noonu lay amee empreinte ci ki koy déglu ci kaw nit kooku bu fekkee am na filtre wala amul filtre am na ñoo xam ne nag ñoom loo leen mën a wax ci safaan ñoom am nañu filtre bu leen suñu borom defal boo xam ne dinañ ko mën a filtrer ba lenn lu ci lépp lu ciy lor du yegg si ci ñoom waaye nag waaw wala alamu shahid jazakumullahu xayr wassalaamu aleykum wa rahmatullah.
jërëjëf sëñ Cheikh kon bu ko defee ñu nodd xam naa bu ñu noppee brother Ahmed inshallah you'll be the next we need you to share your perception of zikr inshallah. Brother Ibra suggested that you need to do it, don't worry, it's a ndigal, it's an order, yeah. Bismillah. Bismillah.
Bismillah. Allahu akbar. Allahu akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala falah. Hayya ala falah. Allahu akbar. Allahu
لا إله إلا الله. bismillah ñu defar sàpp. sopp si bismillah ñu def Allah 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 bismillah ñu defar sàpp si Muhammad billahi duma nekk ci kanam Modou Pen
la sàpp yi Allahu akbar ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah ashhadu anna Muhammadan rasulullah hayya ala salat hayya ala al falah qad qamatis salat Allahu akbar la ilaha illa Allah Allahu akbar Allahu akbar Rabbana wa lakal hamdu Allahu akbar Allahu akbar Allahu akbar Allahu akbar
إن نبينا الرسول أحمد خدمه من لا يزال صمدا للمصطفى ما لم يكن ولا يكون لغيره ممن له كن فيكون هذا نبي الله ما لا يعلم إلا الذي له وقلم خدم خير المرسلين المرسل على الجميع واقتفته الرسل خدم أحمد على إقاب من مدى ومن ياتي ومن في الزمن محمد صلى عليه على الورى
الله أكبر
نبينا أحمد ما داناه عبد
ربنا ولك الحمد
رسولنا أحمد فاخر
الله أكبر
والأنبياء فضلوا على
الله أكبر
محمد صلى وسلم
الله أكبر
وليس ياتي مثل النعم
الله أكبر
كتابه كل كتاب نسخا وإنه بغيره لم يلتقى من رام في الخلق مسير أحمدا عجزه من لا يزال صمدا من رام في الخلق
الله أكبر
عجزه من لا يزال صمدا فرح مولد النبي محرما كما له قاد الهدى والكرما فرح مولد النبي محرما
الله أكبر
من لك
ربنا ولك الحمد
مزارة خالدة
الله أكبر
مولد النبي ربيعا الأول
الله أكبر
شرف مولد النبي ربيعا
الله أكبر
الذي علم المطلوع أجاب مولد النبي جمالا ولا يزال شاكرا حمادا هذا الذي بشارة جمالا هذا الثياب فالإيمانا فاز بمولد النبي رجب فوزا به
الله أكبر ربنا ولك الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر
وجاء مولد النبي سوالا
الله أكبر
مولد أحمد أداة هداءة
الله أكبر
نور مولد النبي زهجة هذا له درجة وحجة نور مولد النبي زهجة هذا له درجة وحجة أجابني خير
السلام عليكم
أجابني خير
bismillah bu ku nekk bu paree mu jàng Faatiha fukki Ixlaas ak benn ñu def ko àddee booy daw li tëjee ko salaatu ala nabi ñu tudd Allahu akbar Allahu akbar rabbana walakal hamd Allahu akbar Allahu akbar Allahu akbar Allahu akbar
الله أكبر ربنا ولك الحمد الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الله
Ya
bismillahir rahmanir rahim wa sallallahu ta'ala ala sayyidina muhammadin وسلم سان إلهي بالمناجهات وعبدنا احنا يدي غادي سان إلهي بالمناجهات وابدا اخنا يدي انهات دل علي العلماء والاولياء من لا يزال الهوتي وقوليات قصيدتي فاق القصائد الكرام ولتخوض أبدا خير المرام قضيتي مجيلة كل